This is the Phoenix mind, where the fire refines, break the chains and rise to shine. Rise on the lead with heart, every end a brand new start. With Lisa Manzo, we transform, we ignite. This is the Phoenix mind.
Welcome to the Phoenix Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Manzo, and today I have a special guest, Christine Witt, and I'm going to read you her bio because I don't want to miss a thing. Christine is the co-founder and creative force behind PurposeFull Goods, a wellness brand that pairs guided journals with curated candles to turn everyday rituals into meaningful moments of reflection. With a decade of experience as a creative producer for networks like Magnolia, TLC, and HGTV, Christine brings a seasoned storytelling eye to every product and post. She managed on-set production for brands like Nordstrom and led cross-functional teams at Hungry Root, giving her a unique blend of creative vision and operational precision. At PurposeFull Goods, she oversees brand voice, content strategy, and community engagement, infusing each product and post with warmth and meaning. Christine believes healing and growth don't have to be perfect, they just have to be honest. And she's passionate about helping others reconnect with themselves in simple, soulful ways. She's thoughtful, outspoken on mindful living and creative entrepreneurship, the power of daily reflection. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here chatting with you. How are you?
Wonderful. And I just love talking to all the different people because stories are so different and vast and I can't wait to hear yours. So do tell. Tell us something.
Oh my goodness, where to
Do
start?
tell.
Oh my goodness. I feel like at this point I have lived a couple of different versions of myself, which is kind of very fun and exciting. I found that my friends tend to say stuff like, "Oh my God, we're so old." And it's just like, no, I just think that we have that many more versions of ourselves to kind of, show to the world. But kind of simply put, yes, I have a creative mind. I went to school for communications, storytelling in Boston, a city that I love and like make my heart sing. And that was actually kind of my first Phoenix moment. I was definitely a very shy person growing up. And I was just like, well, I could stay in state in Illinois and be close to family. And then I thought, nah, I'm going to shake the tree. And I moved 1,000 miles away and I went to Boston and loved it. I would not trade those years for anything. So I got my communications degree and I graduated and I was going to work for Oprah. And then she decided that's the year she was going to end her television program. So that didn't quite work out, but that's okay. And I pivoted into marketing and graphic design. So account management, things like that, but very much brand design and storytelling through brands. And then when I was on that job, they had this show that was all about creatives and what makes creatives tick and like where their ideas come from and kind of what drives them to put out into the world, their voice, their vision, their passion, things like that. And I kind of became a one lady show and I was producing it and I was editing it and I was speaking with all these interesting creative people. And I was like, geez, I really love this. Like, if I don't pursue this full time, I'm going to regret it. So I quit that job cold turkey, picked up my life. I was in Chicago at the time and I moved to New York and chased down a job in New York and I ended up working in television. And I did that for a good long time. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And then COVID hit. And so unfortunately, it has forever changed the TV industry, and we're still going through that change now. So, just with the process of kind of straightening that field out, there are not many jobs in television right now. So I've kind of pivoted into project management, which is pretty much like producing, pretty much just herding cats, a different kind of breed of cat. And and yeah, so I still deeply love the creative aspects of working with creatives, and what I'm doing now is still in the creative field. It's brand management, things like that. Um, so yeah, I don't think you'll ever find me at like a CPA job plugging in numbers into a spreadsheet. I don't know if anyone would want that. I'm not great with math, but it's also not my scene. So I love the creative field, and I just think that art will save your life always. I just think there's no limit to what you can do. You can dream up. Any of it. So, if you're ever having a bad day, go to the art museum. It might inspire you to just feel better, see colors and see the world through a different point of view, and you'll be right as rain in no time. So that's me in a nutshell.
I used to go to the art museum and see colors. So color's a big thing for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, and I've never said this before, but colors are a huge thing for me. So I just recently moved out of one place to another, right?
Uh-huh.
Look at a couple of places, and the one place was tan on the outside.
Oh,
Okay, that's not a color that feeds me at all. Okay,
no.
I don't own anything tan or brown or yellow. Those are
Mhm.
not my colors. And my son jokes about it, and every once in a while he'll buy me something yellow just for fun.
I
So
love it.
yeah, we all have a laugh about it, and we all have a laugh about it. I keep it for a little while, and then I get rid of it because it's not my color. And
Sure.
color is so important to certain people. Like I know exactly why I don't like those colors. And so quick story from my childhood. After my mother she used to get her hair done in rollers, and that was a 3-hour event. Okay.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Take me with her. And there's nothing
Oh,
for a 10-year-old in the beauty salon for 3 hours. And I have ADHD, right? So like I was into everything. I fell down the hair thing, the hair salon.
yeah. I thought you were gonna say you like painted every nail a different color, or
Anyway,
yeah.
so when you lifted it and then you swept the dirt, you swept the hair in that those the hairdressers. I fell down that thing.
Oh no. I've never heard of that before. Oh my God.
Salon, and it was anyway. So and then on the way home, she would stop at all the stores, and my mother was into brown at the time,
Hmm.
color brown at the time, brown and rust and yellow.
Of course.
Those colors. And it makes me laugh, and the only thing I can attribute it is to that. But yes, color does make me feel better, and it just changes the whole mood. I totally agree with you.
Absolutely. We are in the midst of a renovation right now. So we're doing like the whole downstairs of our house, and we need to do the bedrooms. But when we moved in, I said to my partner, I was like, listen, we need to have like a sanctuary space, and it should be the primary bedroom. So I made a point to just like get the primary bedroom done. I did it in like 6 weeks or something. But I wallpapered it with an ombre wallpaper that kind of looks like the sunrise. And I was a little bit unsure just because it goes from blue to kind of like a blush pink. And the more I wake up to it every day, the more it just makes me happy. It's so cozy when you go in there and like turn the lights down, and oh, it's just the best. It makes me so happy. I completely understand minimalism and the need for eliminating clutter from your life and kind of having neutral tones and things like that. But it's so crazy to me that a piece of wallpaper is just like it gets me almost. It makes me so happy.
And they talk about colors having meaning and stuff like that. And
Mm.
I so do because when I first got out to Vegas, everything I had was green, and I was never attracted to green before, right?
Oh,
Green is a healing color.
uh-huh.
And at
Uh-huh.
the time, I just decided I needed a change in the color scheme that I was having, so I
Mhm.
changed to green, and now everything's purple. Now we're on.
You're gonna do that. You're gonna hit the whole rainbow at some point. I love that though. So you're in Vegas. Well, that makes sense that you're having like such an adverse reaction to like the browns and the tans because you're like, ugh, everything in Vegas is, unless you're on the strip and then it's bright lights, big colors, but otherwise it's beige.
So, when COVID hit, I know for a lot of people it really affected them. I
Mhm.
didn't really, I didn't really feel, I did great during COVID. I had my job. I made a lot of money because I'm a nurse, and I made a lot of money, extra money during COVID because I worked for an app which, like, because nobody wanted to work, so they were desperate for nurses. So I made double what I was usually making.
Nice.
So, COVID,
Yeah.
I did not suffer yet. I know people that COVID really, really hurt them emotionally and physically. So how was that with COVID? It shut everything down for you. What were you feeling? Like, what happened for you?
Um, so with the job that I had at the time, I was working in office in they're called cube farms. So with television, I was working in post production. So you go, you have your headphones on, but you're right next to another producer. So you're kind of having a solo experience within a bigger crowd. Um, Luckily, we were all able to go remote, but unexpectedly, I was in New York and unexpectedly, I ended up back in Chicago. And then the world shut down. And so I went from having kind of an individual experience in a group setting to just being an individual. And that was really hard because you do, obviously, you have your friends at work. Um, and if you're on a really crazy show, you're like, oh my God, look at what this person just did. You're reviewing their footage and kind of gossiping with your coworkers. And most people kind of don't understand when you're working in post, when you're reviewing a bunch of footage, the people that you're reviewing or the subject matter that you're reviewing, they kind of become your coworkers. But when you don't have that back and forth with them, it does get lonely. So um, it was tough. And, you know, I went from living basically, I was in Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan, which is very close to Times Square for anyone who doesn't know, to being back in my childhood bedroom with my parents, my mom cooking dinner every night, to being like this highly independent, actualized person, doing this like independent girl lifestyle, living my dreams out loud kind of thing, to literally my childhood bedroom. So it was a tough transition. I think once we realized all the talk of like flatten the curve and we're only doing this for like a month, once all of that conversation went away, it's the reality of the long haul was tough. So generally, kind of what I did was I kept in touch with friends from New York, but I started a writing group. So I would have regular touch points with people. I joined a writing group, and then I was also hosting one weekly with a girlfriend of mine. So just so I had regular touch points. But though, I mean, it was jarring and upsetting for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. I would say I shook out on kind of the better end of the spectrum there as far as like being self-sustaining. I didn't lose my job, but it did forever change my industry. But I landed at home. Luckily, my lease was up, so that happened in March. My lease was up in June, so I just went back to New York and collected my things. It's not like I was paying rent for another 10 months. So I would consider myself to be pretty lucky in all of that. But uh, yeah, I mean, that experience is what promoted starting Purposeful because for a while there, I was so disconnected from my body, and the act of just sitting down to journal was so incredibly hard for me because nothing was open. It's not like I could go to the gym and go for a run and just like be around people and not talk to anyone. It was aloneness. Um, so you go for a walk, put your ear pods in, but I was just kind of like buzzing. I was so anxious about what's next, what's coming. And then I finally connected habit stacking with sitting down to journal and putting pen to paper and being like, this is how I feel. I feel disconnected, going back to basics.
Okay, so explain something. I know what habit stacking is, yet I only learned about it. I only learned what it was a couple of years ago. So please explain what habit stacking is. Great. So please explain to my audience what habit stacking is.
Sure, sure. Habit stacking is basically pairing one habit that you have with one habit that you're creating. And so I like to use the term ritual with that because I think that my journaling practice is a ritual that I get to partake in. And you basically habit stack so it becomes easier and it becomes more like a reflex. So I try and think of things that I don't necessarily want to do or like push through to do as like a habit. Like you wake up, you brush your teeth, you drink water, you eat breakfast. It's a reflex. It becomes a reflex for you. So with purposeful specifically, I paired scent, which I'm sure you know as a nurse working in science and things like that, that scent is the strongest sense that's connected to memory. So sit down, light your candle, kind of let the scent wash over you, and create the habit, the environment, the experience that you want to have when you journal. Sit there and then just write it out. So you sit at your desk, light your candle, do your journal work, and you're good. And you create that loop for yourself. And that works with other things that you're trying to create. I've heard, like if you um, have like a little coffee treat or something that you treat yourself to on, Thursdays or whatever, but you're studying for an exam, then you can kind of pair your little coffee ritual with the studying if you're really having a hard time sitting down to study. And then the process of pairing that thing that you love with something that maybe is a little bit harder for you, it becomes easier to do that hard thing because you look forward to being like, oh, I get my little treat. So the habit stacking and putting those things together makes it better for yourself psychologically to sit down and do the hard thing. That was the long explanation, but
It is an explanation. It's all
yeah.
good. All good. So you said something else that was intriguing for me.
Oh,
And I'm going to ask you. So you said that you weren't in your body.
hmm.
I've recently realized that I wasn't in my body for quite a long time. So how did you come to understand that you weren't in your body and know that you needed to get back into it? Because this is a new concept. I feel like was a pretty new concept for me, and I feel like I was so stressed that I was not in my body. I was kind of disassociated from it. So how did you understand, because you figured it out for yourself, how did you understand that and then how'd you get back in?
Sure. Um, I really took this time to double down on my own mental health. So I was speaking with a therapist and kind of doing my own journal work and things like that. Um, and through therapy, learning that I have anxious avoidant behavior anyway. And I was diagnosed with ADD at 7 years old. So I knew about ADD. Learning about anxious avoidant was new to me, but like the sensation of almost like it's almost like an aching in my chest. And I've begun to recognize those symptoms and just being like, okay, my brain's going 1,000 miles a minute. I'm ruminating on the same thing. and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm in a rocking chair and I'm just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I'm expending all this energy, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm just like in my own little spiral. So I really tried to, when I do that, like I said, the journaling always helps me because my brain gets like so disoriented with all these thoughts. And I'll just be like, I'll sit down and be like, okay, what is the thing that's plaguing me, and what is the worst case scenario of the outcome that could possibly happen from what is freaking you out right now? Like, what's going to happen? Like, truly, you know, you're probably not going to end up like shuffling down the side of the road in your bathrobe, broke, home. Like, you're probably going to be fine. So, what is the worst case scenario? And once you kind of realize it's going to be okay, you can step back from that. But you have to put, for at least for me, like I'm very visual. So, once I see it written down, or it's kind of like once you say the scary part out loud, it's not so scary. And a lot of people, I'm a big proponent of therapy, and I've gone on and off for a couple of years, but I really dove back in during COVID for, obvious reasons, just because it was a big life change. Um, and but I treated it like a job to really learn myself. And I think, this didn't come from nowhere. I think COVID kind of exaggerated the symptoms of it. And so I treated it like a job, and learning myself and learning the signs, learning the symptoms, and kind of giving myself the tools that I needed. So as far as recognizing it, I needed to find an off ramp for that anxiety. So I find physical movement to be very beneficial for me. At that time when I was at home, it would just be like, you know what, put my out of office on, go for a 30-minute walk around the block. That's my lunch break. Great. Now I make regular gym appointments to just go, and whether it's walking or running or lifting weights or something, give that energy meaning. It's not bad for you to just lift weights, be in a community setting and do that. If I'm feeling really, really anxious, meditation, or I'm not always good at meditation, but meditation, or I will just, I will make an appointment with my therapist, because for me, I know some people don't buy into therapy, but I'm just like, they legit cannot tell anyone else on the planet like what you discuss in that session. Don't you just want a safe place to just say things out loud? Of course, if you're thinking of terrible things, like you're maybe going to self-harm, they will talk to people. But of course, this is just for normal everyday stuff, where you get to say what's on your mind, and make yourself feel better. Like, don't you just want to feel better? So to me, it was always like, I am spending so much time and energy feeling detached from who I am, and I'm missing stuff. I'm missing life. I just want to feel better. I want the tools to be present and be a good friend, and show up for myself too, so I can show up for other people. That's why I treated it like a job. And I'm not perfect at it. I still have my times where, the reaction is always to just kind of spin out and be like, oh, I don't know. But the more you use it as a muscle, the more you learn, and the better you kind of get at those things. So that is what I've learned about myself. And it's not a perfect science, certainly, but it works for me. Yeah, but I'm always looking for tips and tricks. So if you've got any, send them my way. I'll try and
Yep.
incorporate them.
You have quite a few. Like, I, I had this thing happen today, and I was so annoyed by it. I have to pay my rent with a cashier's check. Oh, so now I have to go to the bank because you're having an outage, right, with your thing. So you're making my life inconvenient because you won't take a personal check, and they do it really aggravated me. And I'm like, "Ugh, I'm going to record a podcast interview. I need to get rid of this because this is
Yeah.
me." So I started, shaking my hands to shake it off me. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's one of my tips. Like when I leave my job, I shake my hands to shake all that energy off me to leave it there. So
Yeah,
that's one of my tips. So movement is great no matter what you do. Movement is great for that.
for
And
sure.
absolutely, I totally agree. What does your shirt say?
Oh, my shirt says stressy and depressy.
What
Uh,
does that mean?
Stressy and depressy. So actually, I didn't mean to rep purposeful all the way around, but it is for purposeful. But it means just like if you're feeling stressy and depressy, sit down and write your journal. Uh, yeah. So right now, stressy and depressy. I wore this all day today, just for funsies. I wanted to get in the vibe of purposeful goods and yeah.
That's great. I was looking at the website and thank you for reminding me to do my journaling with a scent because it's helpful. I actually bought a new journal and I'm going to start a new I had decided, which is so great, that I was going to start a new journaling practice tonight. And what's going to go in the journal is all the things that went right today.
Yay!
All I'm going to journal about is all the things that went right today. Forget about that I got aggravated. That's not going in the journal. All the great things that happened to me today.
Yes, I love that.
Went to the gym twice this week. Wow, woohoo, I've been to the gym forever. So twice this week I went to, that's great. You know,
Yeah,
that's a huge win. I haven't exercised in over a year, so going out twice in 1 week, that's a great win.
I
Um,
love it.
have breakfast with my child.
Amazing.
And so, like, I just decided that I'm going to see what this brings me because basically I'm telling the universe, thank you for all the good things that happened to me today just by writing them in a journal. And gratitude changed my life.
I agree. It's that old adage. It's like the more you look around and you see the good, you're going to see more good. It's just that simple.
It is that simple. The more things you're grateful for, the universe or God, whatever word you want to use, will give you more things to be grateful for. So I just want to be, I mean, even for the bumps in the road, I'm like, okay, it's okay. I had somebody cancel on me today and reschedule somebody I've been trying to get on my podcast that I want to be the first episode of my podcast.
Uh-huh.
And because he's got a great story and I've known him for 7 years. And today, he had a last minute. He had to reschedule. He had to reschedule till next week, and that's okay because
Yeah.
I'm getting my hair done this weekend. So next week on the podcast, my hair is gonna look so much better.
It's gonna be fabulous, and you're gonna be like, I was ready. I planned it this way, and it was meant to be. Absolutely.
And the reason I say it and I'm telling the story is because I want people to understand that just because things don't go exactly as you're planned, some things it's a better outcome. You
Yeah.
like my hair much better next week when it's done because it's gonna look good for 3 months because I'm getting it.
Exactly. 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 I know. It's hard not to speak in like those tropes like that, but I mean it's usually true. Sometimes you never know why something falls through or gets rearranged or what you were supposed to see or what you weren't supposed to see by just the way things shake out. And I do believe, yeah, the universe, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, it that is what it's meant to be. And it's for your greater good, so just roll with it, you know?
Always. And once I stopped fighting it and getting angry and mad, and now I just smile. I'm like, oh, and I say to myself, oh, what better thing is going to happen to me today because that happened.
I love it. Yes, that's I try and reframe my thoughts and think, why is this happening for me and not to me? I think it's really easy to fall into the this is happening to me and I'm the victim and I'm being pushed around by the universe or whatever, or I have the worst luck. But sometimes you don't always see it in the moment. But perspective is everything, time is everything. And just like you reframed this, you know, you're so excited for this podcast guest. He's got a great story, but you're going to be looking amazing next week. So like, yeah, let's get our hair done and like feel fabulous. It'll probably lead to a better interview, you know? You're just going to be vibing all over yourself.
And then I'm gonna go to the bank and get my cashier's check and pay my rent, right? So maybe I'll
Exactly. We'll be paid up.
it's there. You never know.
You never know. Oh my gosh. I
So
love it.
Christine, I have two more questions for you. The first question is, if somebody's struggling with something along the way, what piece of advice would you give them? And whether you repeat something or give them something new, I want to know.
Sure. Um, I really feel like, again, this seems like such simple, easy, kind of trope-like advice, but I think it's important to remember the high highs and the low lows. Those, this too shall pass. There's always going to be highs, and you celebrate those, and you live in those, and you're so grateful, and you love them. But to get to the highs, you have to go through the lows, and just know this too shall pass. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, I was talking with someone the other day. Sorry, quick story. Um, like all I so love being a television producer, and I so love being a storyteller, and that industry is just not thriving right now. It's not. There are no jobs. And 2 years ago, I bought a condo in the city, and it's typical in like January for those jobs to kind of go quiet, and then things pick up in the spring, you know. And there were no jobs, and there were no jobs, and it was going through summer, and there were no jobs. And long story short, it ended up being like 2 years where I was not working consistently, anything like that. But I, you know, not, I didn't want to be like too proud or whatever. And I was just like, I'll work at Target. I'll work, you know, here, I'll work there. I couldn't get a job to save my life. I couldn't even get a job at Target. And it was crushing to me. And I was kind of going through a breakup at the time. I couldn't pay my mortgage. My dad got sick. It was like every pillar in my life was absolutely being shaken at the same time. And what really scared me was that I was so angry about it. Like, I'm not an angry person, and I was so angry about it. And I don't think I realized at the time that I was kind of going through an identity crisis with losing the job and not being able to find work and not being able to support myself. And to be fair, I'm not entirely sure that I processed all those feelings, but I mean, it's a reality. Like, I'm aware of like where that's coming from. But I can tell you happily now that I started this year, I started a new job in January. I bought a new house, and I moved in with my partner who proposed in May. So we're getting married in October. Um, what else has happened? We're in the middle of a renovation. There's just so many, 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 many good things that are coming up. But I literally had to burn it all down for a while, for 24 months. And that was really, really painful. But the high that I'm on now is like, if you had told me this time last year, I would have absolutely laughed in your face, because it was like I could not see the forest from the trees, and I was in it, and I was just not the version of myself that I wanted to be. But here I am, and life is so good right now. Like, I love him so much, and us building this house together, I'm so into, and planning a wedding. And like, it's crazy. Like, we're hemorrhaging money. I don't know how we're going to pay for all of this, but like, you know, I'm gainfully employed. We're just insanely happy to like be building this life together. But I would not have expected that going going through what I was going through, and being out on the other side and seeing how much abundance was here for me. I would never have guessed, and I would never have gotten here if I hadn't had to experience the low, low, low for as long as I did. But the one thing that kept me going is, I know this can't last forever, so just persist. And that was painful. That was a tough lesson to learn, but uh, yeah, this too shall pass. And I'm in kind of a constant state of pinch me because I'm just so excited for what's to come for us and for me and for all of it. So, yes, I would say, love the highs, enjoy them, revel in them, and almost like don't take the lows too seriously because this too shall pass. It will. And kind of in the middle, that's where you're going to live. And that is all part of life, and you just gotta like live it and enjoy it and write down the good stuff in your gratitude journal and ignore the rest and learn the lessons, so that would be my big piece of advice. And then yeah, I don't
So,
know.
Christine, when somebody wants to get in touch with you and learn more from you, how can they do that?
We are at Purposeful with 2 L's, PurposeFullGoods.com. We're at Purposeful 2 L's Goods on Instagram. Where else can they find me? I'm on TikTok too. Purposeful 2 L's Goods on TikTok. But yes, I am always looking to engage with people. I love rooting people on. And if you need help starting, restarting, or joining a community of journalers, please find us. Mental health is for everyone. I don't care who you are. So if you just need a little bit of support or encouragement or someone in your corner, you just come find us. We'll be here.
Awesome. So this has been another episode of the Phoenix Mind podcast. Thank you, Christine, for being my guest today.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I loved meeting with you and talking with you.
Thank you. And I'm Lisa Manzo, your host, and I'll see you on the next episode.
This is the Phoenix Mind, where the fire refines. Together we rise, transform our lives. So subscribe